and I'll get to them as soon as I can, basically. I've got quite a few questions in the log here for the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, get asking. Muhammad Salman, hey, man. What's up? Welcome. God's Neck. What up, dude? Cool name. Danush Hacker, make it before 6:30. Well, it's 11:30 a.m. my time at the moment. So, yeah, this was the only time I had free at the moment to do this, but it will go live as a video later that you can watch if you want. So, yeah. We got Bobby. What up, man? Welcome. Insert username. Sup, dude? Kyle Reese. Yo. How fast do you need to be for the CCA exam? I'll get to these questions very soon. I'm going to answer some of the questions first from cybersecguidance.com. There's a Q&A section on there where I answer videos, and I'm supposed to do it every week, but I've been away for the last couple of weeks in China. But I am virus-free at the moment, which is great, and living life. So let's get this started. I'm going to head over to my website. You probably won't see it on the screen because I'm streaming this straight through Google for once because I want to see what the quality is like. So we've got a guy here by the name of Manish Mishra, and he has said, "Hi, I'm very new for cybersecurity field. Can you tell us about the field for start my journey and also some useful links to get more on this? Kindly help me, please." Manish Mishra. So some free courses. There are a few free ones on. There's a few free ones on Udemy, which you can do. And there's a whole bunch on tryhackme.com as well as Hack the Box. And they're all pretty good, to be honest. They're good questions and they're good courses and they're all free. There are paid versions, of course, which are obviously better. But if you want to learn for free, that's probably the best way to do it. Next question from Pilepseby said, "Hi, what's your opinion about IT security, SSP, CISSP? Is it a good cybersecurity certification?" Quick answer to that is yes. The CISSP especially is a very good certification, but it's usually something you get a little bit further down the line. It's not something you would like dive into straight away. I'd probably recommend getting a Security Plus or a CEH first, or both of those, and trying to understand some networking fundamentals, I guess, to then move on to a CISSP because it's a little bit more advanced than those. And yeah, that's pretty much where I would start with those. Over to Discord. Now, I might just do these on my phone, actually, because it'd probably be easier than minutes. So, find the last question. It was from Mr. DeadSec, and he said, "Hey, I want to get involved in cybersecurity, so I want to start using Kali Linux. I want to buy a laptop or tower to practice CTFs on and get used to Kali. Is there a minimum spec you would recommend?" You can honestly run Kali on a Raspberry Pi if you really want. It's up to you how you want to do that, I guess. So, yeah, I'd probably just get a Raspberry Pi if you want to get a really cheap minimum spec computer to run it on natively. Otherwise, you can run it in a VirtualBox on pretty much anything. Yeah, that's the basic answer of what's the minimum specs. CTFs don't really require a lot of computing power. They usually, you can do all of them online. If you watched any of my lazy, and it's more visual. Next question was from Aspiring Network Admin. And he has said, how to transition into cybersecurity nowadays and what kind of salary should be expected in the US? Yeah, so if you want to get started in cybersecurity and you're not really sure how to transition across from other IT fields, which is what I guess this is about, the best way is to get certified first. So get your Security Plus and yeah, just sort of work your way from there, I guess. It's probably the easiest way to do it. And it's like once you've got certified and you have experience, then that's all you really need. Um, if you've already got experience in IT, then yeah, you'll get in pretty quickly. The you get paid in the US probably around 60 to 100 depending on where you are and exactly what you're doing. If you're moving to a SOC team, you're probably looking at 60 to 80,000 a year as like a maybe like an analyst level one. But the wages go up pretty quickly from there. So once you sort of move upwards from just like an analyst or level one, the brackets get bigger. So you start going like 80 to 100, 100 to 120, et cetera, and it all depends on how much experience and what certifications you can bring to whatever that company is, and that's sort of what they gauge your worth on. Next question is from aspiring network admin again. He said, what certification takes to get your foot in the door? Most say Security Plus, but now we have CEH. The CEH is sort of still entry level, I'd say. But if you're going to do a CEH, have some sort of networking background as well. So definitely the Security Plus as a base standard. CEH doesn't really look that good on a resume, but it's worth having that knowledge anyway if you can do that certification. And then the CASP or CISSP later. Or if you want to go into web app pen testing, maybe an OWASP or OWASP instead. Those are both great certifications to also grab if you really want to get your foot in the door. But to be honest, if you have experience and a Security Plus and some sort of networking experience or knowledge or certifications would be great, you'll almost definitely get a job eventually. All right, I'm going to put the Discord on pause for a second. I'll answer some that we got. Omar Saw, please, can you show me how to get hashes for any emails? There's about 300 tutorials online that you can find to get that exact knowledge. I'm not going to tell you how to hack emails, basically. So yeah, find that yourself, but then use Hashcat to then decrypt those hashed emails. How fast do you need to be for the CCNA exam at subnetting? Fast, not that fast, but you have to know, I guess, what you're doing to like, it's not a huge, it is a pretty big part of the exam, but it's not something that you're going to need to be like super pro at. So once you've got into that part of the exam, there's a whole section on subnetting. And if you just know and be super quick at it, you just need to know what you're talking about when you do that exam so that you can at least pass the basics of it. Yeah, it's a pretty big part though. When I did the CCNA, it was a little while ago now. And yeah, I knew a fair amount about subnetting. I guess I just did the coursework and I wasn't particularly fast. I wasn't like smashing keyboard fast, but I got through it. So if I can do it, anyone can do it, I guess. Next question is from Rishank Shah. He said, can you recommend some books to get started in bug bounty? I will recommend that in another video because I haven't actually read through enough books to know myself yet. At the moment, I'm still learning about bug bounties and how to best, I guess, go about getting through the different I don't know, practices of bug bounty. So at the moment, I'm just learning about report writing and what to look for to hopefully quickly find my first bug and get some sort of payout. I don't know how quickly that's going to happen, but yeah, I'll recommend in another video once I've read through a few books which ones are best. Prajwal, okay, how many days will it take to become an ethical hacker? That sort of depends on your experience and like as soon as you get a job as an ethical hacker is when you become an ethical hacker. What type of ethical hacking you want to be doing, if it's bug bounties or if it's web app pen testing for a specific company, that's when you become a professional at it. So that's a pretty hard question to answer, I guess. But once you've got the right certifications and that's when you can do it. You can also do it through things like Fiverr or whatever. And if you think you're good enough and you can pick up a job through Fiverr, then that's as soon as you'll get it. It depends on the demand, I guess. Vishal, Tubi, not sure. Cisco certification is required for cybersecurity. Not always. Cisco's, it's all about networking usually, unless you're doing a security-specific CCNA. But yeah, it definitely helps you to get a job. So if that's something you want to look at doing, definitely get a CCNA, just because recruiters love it. They all know about it, and like most of the employers are looking for some sort of Cisco certification. So definitely worth getting. Paintball is life. Dope name, dude. What certs should I get to be an analyst? If you don't have a degree, a Security Plus, a Network Plus, or a CCNA, or both. Maybe not both, actually, just one or the other. And have a look at some of the other security CompTIA certifications, like a Linux Plus, or maybe not a Pen Test Plus, because that's more specific for pen testers. If you want to just keep it broad, yeah, Security Plus, Linux Plus, Network Plus, and some experience. And that should at least get you something, maybe a foot in the door. But again, it depends on where you are. Insert username here. Could you let me know what to expect with your course on your website? It's not so much a course. It's more of a guidance package. So I then do a 1 hour consultation with you over a video or voice call. And I talk to you about exactly where you are in your situation, and then some quick recommendations on what you should do. And then I write a full report on exactly what courses you should do, how long it's going to take, where to do them in whatever country you're in, and yeah, how much it's going to cost. And I basically give you that full guidance on how to get all of this ball rolling of your cybersecurity journey. And that's pretty much it. So there's 1 hour call, and then a massive report that says exactly what you need to do to get going. Jobel Thomas, what is the difference between a degree in security risk analysis versus cybersecurity analytics? It's much of a muchness. You're just going to be learning about different types of specific reporting. So I know a guy who did a risk analysis course, and he's now working as an incident response guy in governance. And he doesn't do too much actual cybersecurity work itself. I guess he does a lot of reporting based on risk versus reward of new things being installed. The other one was a cybersecurity analytics. You're going to be doing a little bit more hands-on stuff once you get a job, or you would be hoping to anyway. And yeah, you're going to be looking at a lot more big data type packages. Andrew Seller, where can you take the Security Plus exam? Pearson VUE in Scotland they only offer the CCNA exam. I'm not sure, man. Have a look at Red Education, or just search CompTIA. You can actually do all the CompTIAs on their website, and it's much cheaper doing it that way than through course and certification. Whereas on their website, it's like $1,000 Australian. So yeah, take that into consideration. Maybe just do it through their website. Owen Watkins, not so much a question, but advice maybe. I'm a software engineer. I'm getting my Security Plus, and I may start in Microsoft in cybersecurity, an MS or master's in cybersec. I play a little on Hack the Box when I have time, trying to figure out how to make the employment switch without taking a pay hit. Yeah, that's pretty tricky, especially a lot of software engineers make around 90 to 150, sometimes more. Especially in the US, they do pretty well in San Francisco and places like that. So it's going to be tricky to not take a pay hit, just because it is a different aspect. So I usually compare it a plumber to being an electrician. They're trades, but they're different things. And the short answer is you're probably going to have to take a pay cut. But if you don't want to, do that. If you're going to do the master's degree and a Security Plus, you'll probably get a job that's around 80 to 100,000 US a year. So it depends on where you're going. But if you can hit a service provider, like a managed service provider, they'll look at your previous experience and they'll probably want to utilize some of your previous experience or certifications to do jobs for them in software engineering. So it'd be an easier transition because you're still going to be doing potentially a little bit of software engineering work, as well as focusing on any security projects that come up that they need done for their customers. So yeah, that's it depends on, I guess, the market for software engineers and how much you're currently earning compared to how much you potentially could earn. Next question's from Nate. He said, any experience / feedback with eLearn security? Yeah, I'm not too sure what the question is. Any experience or feedback? It's a good course. The CH one is pretty good through there. Yeah, that's about it. I haven't done any of the other ones, so I'm not sure, but I guess it's as good as any of the others as long as you get the certification at the end that is globally recognized. Subham Kumar, does CH necessary to do ethical field? It's not necessary, but it's definitely worth having if you want to work for a company. If you just want to work for yourself as an individual, you don't really need any certs, I guess. But if you want to prove to your potential customers or employer that you know what you're doing, it's worthwhile and necessary. Prowol KP, I'm a degree student. How to start to learn ethical hacking in web app pentest or bug bounty? It's coming in another video. I won't answer it in this one, otherwise I'm just going to be repeating myself over and over. Vishal Chubi, cybersecurity can help to learn Cisco security. I'm not sure what that means. Sabam Kumu, what percentage of programming language is needed in hacking? It depends what you're hacking. And yeah, like if you need to know HTML, definitely. Python, worth knowing if you want to automate some scripts or write your own tools. Java's pretty much in everything. And yeah, I guess you don't need to be like a pro at any of it. You just need to know how to read it in those scripts. Official Real Sean X is asking, so I have a class at FTCC that's offering cybersecurity, and I was thinking about taking the class, but I'm nervous because I know little to nothing. That's exactly what the class is for, so you know what you're doing after you've done it. Don't be scared of learning because, you know, you can only fail, I guess, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because you still would have learnt what's coming up in that course anyway. So yeah, I'd take the course if it was me. If I was presented with a course in cybersecurity and they said, you know, just jump in, off you go, you'll learn it. You'll hit the ground running just like everyone else in that class probably. And yeah, just keep going with it. Vishal, what is F Society? Have you seen Mr. Robot? Yeah, have a look at Mr. Robot. Insert username. Yeah, man, once you sort of get into knowing what the courses are and what they do, then that's sort of your first step. Then once you start reading through different programming languages, learn a little bit about, you know, bash scripting and Linux in general and the fundamentals of networking and definitely the layers of networking, that's where you're sort of going to start picking up things pretty quick. But that's all sort of explained in that CyberSec guidance course that I guess guidance package that I do on my website. Where are we? Too many comments have flooded here. AKS, what documentation exactly does HackerOne request? What do you mean? What data do they ask to belong on this platform? Is there any more open source alternatives for this? Good channel greetings. Thanks, man. What data do they ask to belong on this platform? Do you mean like when you sign up? So you need an email address and a name. and that's it. You can put whatever name you want. You can make a new email address, make a dodgy Proton one, Proton Mail, whatever it's called, email address, and start using it from there. You don't really need to give them too much information, but it's up to you. Yes, they ask for like profile photos and stuff, but you can use a default. You don't really need to put in anything else. You can put in any old address if you want to list your address. It's up to you, man. Akash Bhushan says, what basics should I know to start my career in cybersecurity? Networking, do a security plus, I can't recommend it enough, and learn some Linux. For that works, I was thinking of going software engineer, DevSecOps, CyberSec. Yeah, that's a good jump. Okay, Joshua Furno, or whatever, when talking to someone in a friendly / networking environment who may have a job for you, how would you approach him? That's actually a really good question, because networking is sometimes the reason you'll get a job or not. So if you're going to like networking meetings and you're meeting with potential employers or companies that might know someone who knows someone, the best way to approach it is with pure honesty, but also excitement. So if you say to them, hey man, I'm really getting into cybersecurity at the moment. I've just completed this certification, or I'm just about to finish this certification. Up in my plan to do this year, and I'm looking for something to get me started in the industry, even like a work experience or just an entry-level position. They're going to probably respond with something like, oh, look, I don't have anything right now, but I'll keep you in mind. Definitely get yourself some little, like, I guess, business cards, or just a piece of paper with your name, or add them on LinkedIn. And just sort of go from there. It's very important to do networking. And I'm glad way back when I first started doing IT that I was going to different meetup groups, and I was actually going to a lot of business networking meetings. And most of the people at those meetings are like business owners. And I was a guy at the time, I was still in uni, and I was talking to these guys who owned business, being awesome. Like it's definitely helped me get jobs. Some of them one guy I worked for 4 years, and he seemed pretty happy. I just got my CCNA, and he had a network position opening, so I became a network engineer. And I worked there for ages, and it was great fun. And I met a lot of other people in that place as well. And it was an MSP, so I was doing a lot of ticketing all the way to network projects where I was installing thousands of routers and switches through different companies through Australia for this one company. And it was great fun. It was a great way to learn, and that's why I always recommend MSPs, because they throw you really deep into the pool of learning, and you really have to hit the ground running. Next question. Any tip for finding Duty Flug? Is it true that the first job in cyber for students with no experience is help desk? Yeah, pretty much. Even in anything IT, you can't really become a CTO or something straight out of uni. It's not going to happen. There's a million other people who have got more experience and certifications that will probably get those jobs before you. So you need to start somewhere, and a help desk isn't bad. Don't feel bad about starting on a help desk, and maybe doing some bug bounties on the side if you want to learn more about pen testing. That's it's not a bad thing, and you'll eventually get there. And that's just how the world works. How to get a job as a security engineer at Google. Be very qualified, very well spoken, and keep applying until they accept it. Actually, I'm from India. Here, there's no specific institute for ethical hacking, but I'm interested in it, how to get into the field. Start with bug bounties, do a CEH and an OSCP, and apply abroad. KC, how much does the government side of cybersecurity differ from private companies? Also, what is your preference? Tricky. I have a pretty good negative vetting clearance in Australia. That's pretty soon to expire, unfortunately, which is why I'm not doing any more government contracts here. The government pays well for contractors, but they're full-time employees in Australia anyway, and it's different around the world. They pay pretty shit. So an average salary is around 80 to 100,000 as a full-time employee in cybersecurity, whereas a contract rate, you're going to be earning 100 to 150,000 a year, maybe more. You lose all your job security though, so if you stuff up, they will probably, and the other employees don't usually like you because they know you're getting paid more and you don't know anything about their network, so you have to jump in and then tell them what to do. And yeah, it's a bit tricky. So I prefer government because I like contracting more. However, at a private company, you're going to earn more from the beginning, in Australia anyway. I'm not sure about the US on private companies. Sometimes they just blitz their employees. But yeah, it's much for muchness depending on where you are. Jay, have you been offered any overseas job in the Emirates countries? I heard they pay pretty well with low tax. I've been offered jobs overseas, but not in any of the UAE. I have heard also that they pay very well, but I haven't been offered any, and I haven't applied for any either, just because I'm not particularly interested in going there. Jelani S, SOC analyst into on that. I have done a video on that previously, but yeah, I'll do another one because it's probably changed since 2018, I think, when I did that video. Sabam Kumar, what's your thought about India security? What security? No, I'm joking. Their government security is okay, I guess, but it's as good as any other government. Usually, it's on par. They hack and they get hacked, and that's just pretty much it. There's no way to stop everything that comes through. So, yeah. Madhan said, is it worth of studying cybersecurity program in Canada? Lambton College. Absolutely no idea. I've never heard of that college, but I know the Canadian universities are pretty good. So as good as anywhere else in the world, really. So yeah, hit it up. That's okay, man. It's a skill that you learn over time. And I guess I was lucky going into networking because when I was in high school, I worked at a pub and I had to talk with people every day, all the time. So I got pretty good at just talking absolute rubbish, which is, you probably noticed by now. And yeah, I had a great time talking with all different people as a bartender. So going into networking was just pretty easy for me because I just spoke with people. So if you want to get better at public speaking, there is like those line group things that you can do, or just keep going to free meetups and talk with more and more people. Don't just sit on a web chat and talk there, because it's a very different experience. Akram Karani, should you go to CTFs and conference even if you're a newbie? Definitely yes. It's a great way to learn, and they're all free. Well, some of the conferences are paid for, of course, but it's still worth going to see what new technology is out there and to potentially meet new people. Carl Reese, MSP. MSP is Managed Service Provider. So they're the guys that, they're like companies with groups of different staff, and they have like networking staff and sysadmin staff and specific Linux guys, engineers, and security staff. And they assign you to projects that they get from their customers. So they go out and get customers and projects, and then they on-sell their services to there. Amber Have Saswat, how to get started in bug bounties. I'll do a video. See you later, insert username. Bibek Shah, how to find server-side bugs while doing bug bounty. I'll do videos on bug bounties. I'll get to it. As bachelor degree in software engineer is better than cybersecurity certificate to become a cybersecurity specialist. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean there. Casey, by the way, love the videos. Keep me motivated. Much love. Thanks, man. Carl Reese, no uni degree, no IT experience, solid foundation with Linux. Cool. Front-end dev, wicked. Network protocols, that's a good job above help desk that I can do while bug bounty. Definitely. Yeah, if you can sort of sell yourself, while doing bug bounties. You can make really good money out of bug bounties if you find them. But yeah, if you find them is the tricky bit. Super Frank, hello, sir. Is it a good start as an entry-level SOC analyst tier 1? Yeah, it's awesome, dude. I think you asked that somewhere else as well. And yeah, it's a great place to start. Rakesh Rasan, how to start my cybersecurity course. Just start it. Plus, I know a lot of people say it's useless, but that's because they know at least the basics of computing. So yeah, if you know the basics, don't bother with it. Go straight to a Security Plus. If you don't know anything about computers, do an A+. It's a great place to start, and it's pretty inexpensive. Where are we? Bagyesh, can I get a job after CEH? Depends if you have any other certifications or experience. If not, probably not, but you might get something on Fiverr, but you're not going to get paid very well. Are there free training for beginners? Yes, there is. I did a video a little while ago, so have a look through my videos on free cybersecurity certifications. There's a whole list there. Some of them do 80% through. So once you get to 80%, then you have to pay like 100 Australian, which is a bit dodgy because they advertise them as free courses. But have a look, do those courses. They're all more or less free. Lemon Tree RC, thank you for taking the time to talk with all of us. I did a C+ in high school and run Ubuntu currently. Cool, man. Your info has been useful as I want to get back into this. Thanks, man. I'm always here for motivation. That's what I'm all about. Dinah Daly, hi. What up, dude? Vivek Shah, after how much knowledge beginners can get intern in cybersecurity jobs? You can get an internship straight out of uni or while you're at university or college with like little to very basic experience. So yeah, you probably won't get paid straight away, but some of the internships in the US pay pretty well. So the one actually, so it's a bit backwards here, but in the US you can get a job as an intern pretty easily in cybersecurity, but you need to have some sort of degree usually to get in. Madame, please refer me better college for cybersecurity program in Canada. I have absolutely no idea. I'm not from Canada, unfortunately. I wouldn't want to recommend something that sucks because I don't know. So I'm very sorry, but maybe do some research on Google. Sabam Kumar, does Udemy certificate help in job interview? It's not really. So they're useful to know that, and so that you can actually get that knowledge. But as far as the certificate that you get at the end, it's not worth a huge amount, but it's worth noting down the different courses that you have completed those courses and you have experience, I guess, in that knowledge. So they're worth doing, but the certificates aren't worth the paper they're written on. Donna Daly, what do you think about online courses about cybersec? All of them are online. Heaps of them are like online courses, and they're not bad at all. So yeah, I think they're great. Rakesh Roshan, I'm working as a system administrator. It is helpful for cybersecurity. Yeah, for sure, man. So my history was as a network engineer, and then I went to being a sysadmin, and then I did network security, and then I did cybersecurity. And there was a few other random steps in between, but yeah, they loved the experience that I had over systems and networking, and that was sort of my foot in the door. Anthony, hey mate, what's up, dude? What's the oldest noob you've come across? 36 year Autie, I'm not sure what Autie is. How ageist is the industry in Australia and New Zealand? Not at all, dude. I knew a dude in my last SOC job that I was working as a team lead in, and he was a entry-level analyst, and he was 56 years old. So he's got a bit of time on you. I'm almost 32 myself. I turn 32 next week. So it's not ageist at all. People don't really care. And a lot of the people in Australia and New Zealand are older anyway. They're usually definitely over 30. So yeah, 30 to 40 is pretty normal. 50 plus still normal, but there's not that many. Entry-level positions aren't usually from like 18, 19, 20-year-olds. They're usually working in help desk and other roles too. Sporkaconi. Sure. Favorite resource. Whoa, chat message. Favorite resource to learn basic stack buffer overflows to prepare. Oh, man. Have you done the OSCP coursework? Because it does explain it in there. And, oh, man, I feel for you doing this exam because it's such a pain. But the course, I only did the coursework when I did it. So I'd done before that, I'd done a Network Plus, CCNA, CCNP, Security Plus, and I don't know if I'd done I had done the CEH first. That's right. So I had all of that knowledge fresh. I did them all in one big hit. I had a load of money to blow, basically. And I did the OSCP through a company that helped me pay for it. And I just did the coursework and then the exam. And I didn't use any other online resources for learning apart from Googling stuff that I didn't understand. So, yeah, I guess that's my answer to you there. Sorry if it's not good enough. Agria Mathur has said, hey, do you know anything about the undergrad cybersec course at Macquarie Uni? I'm starting in a month and want to know where you think I should start. I don't know about the one at Macquarie, but I assume it's fairly similar to the one at UNSW, which I do know a little bit about. And yeah, it's great there. So Macquarie is a great university as well. So why not? It doesn't sound like it's bad. They have a pretty cool course at UNSW about databasing, which is specific to cybersecurity. I don't know if they do that at Macquarie, but it's really cool actually. I had a look at a mate of mine who was doing that a little while ago, and he showed me. I was like, "This is awesome. I'm glad that you're doing this." Where were you? I've lost my messages. Ravi Teja, what language used in cybersecurity? Almost all of them are brushed upon, but Python is probably the number one, followed by Java, and then C. Gonzalo Martinez says, is it a necessity to learn how to reverse engineer in the cybersec industry? If you're doing forensics, yes. It's not necessary, but it's pretty cool to learn anyway, and it's not hard. So if you just look up Radar 2 and get that tool and then have a play around with it, read some online tutorials. They have some stuff on the Radar website, on their GitHub, I think it is. So have a look at that and yeah, suss it out and see what it's all about. It's fun to learn. Where are we? Mohammed Bilal, programming is must for cybersecurity. It's good to know, but it's not completely necessary, especially depending on which area you go into. Sai Sassi, how much do you earn through Cyber Expert? I don't know what that means. Bjorn Kaiser, any experience in HTTP request smuggling? Do you think they are still out there? They're definitely still out there. There are so many websites out there that aren't HTTPS or are HTTPS and don't have a current certificate. Just have a look for those. Agria, happy birthday for next week. Thanks, man. Giovanni Ibarra, hey DC, just got here. Welcome. Not sure if you've answered this already. I have my first cybersecurity interview tomorrow. Got any tips or advice? Yeah. Answer below exactly what the position is, and I'll try and give you some advice. Ankit Gupta. Hello, sir. I'm from India. What's up, dude? Rakesh Rashan. Which course is best in cybersecurity? CompTIA's Security Plus. #1 course. Do that one. Casey, hear a lot of older individuals at my college saying the field is saturated. What are your thoughts on this? In a way, it is. So the entry-level positions are becoming more saturated, which is why I'm now telling people to get more and more certificates, as opposed to like even just 1 or 2 years ago when it was still massively booming. The higher positions are still going pretty hard, and the mid-level positions are very strong. But entry-level is flooded with new, I guess, intake from universities and college. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky to get your foot in the door. A massive key part. If you can meet an MSP who maybe has a project coming up and they don't have enough staff to cover it, that's where you should go. Ankit, can you tell me how I covert Android payload? No. Darren Honey. Yep, I'm an oldie, 43, just started to learn ethical hacking. Welcome to the adventure of cybersecurity. It's a pretty rewarding career, especially once you get going. Don't feel bad that you're over 40 or whatever. It doesn't matter. You'll still be fine, and people will still look up to you for advice. Maran, the knowledge enough for IT industry, how long it takes to learn cybersecurity? It depends what you're doing, again, and like what area you want to go into, but average 2 years. If you want to do like a full-blown study, full-time, at your own pace, as fast as you can, probably 6 months, but if you want to throw in a degree in there, you're going to have to add a few years. Eric Ramirez, how can I gain skills for cybersecurity? Do you mean experience or like skills as far as coding practices and things go? You can do all of that online. If you want to get experience, you need to get a job, which means you need to do the certifications first. Basic step for cybersecurity, I don't know what you mean. Giovanni, cybersecurity specialist 1. Ooh, okay. Okay, they're probably going to ask a little bit about Python, so hopefully you have some basic knowledge about that. Definitely they're going to ask about networking practices, subnetting, VLANs, and all that basic networking. As far as actual security practices go, they might ask you about different firewall configurations, and if you know anything about like VPN connections between and different tunnels and protocols of VPN, stuff like that, as well as like firewall rules, like how you would set out a firewall rule for this particular thing. And they'll probably give you a situation that you have to solve. So it'll likely be something like, this customer is trying to get to this site, but it appears to be blocked. They called IT and they said there's no rule blocking it. What could be the potential problem? That's like a very broad question, I guess, but just give them different examples of what could potentially be blocking that site. And that's pretty much it. They'll ask where they're going to want your previous experience where you had a situation, this was the task that you needed to do, what the action was that you took, and what the result of all of that was. So definitely think up one of those and throw in that you're great at teamwork and all that sort of stuff. Sebi3125, is going to college good enough for cybersecurity? I don't really want to go to university. Is college not the same as university where you come from? It is where I am. Unless you mean like one of those specific tech colleges that just does a tech college, or like a diploma instead of a degree. It's okay. But if you want to just do like a diploma, throw in some certifications. If you definitely want to get a job, get a CCNA. You'll probably get in as an entry-level network engineer. Bjorn Kaiser, how much % of your hacking bug bounty do you spend in recon and testing? I've only just started doing bug bounties, so at the moment, all of it is recon and learning how to write specific reports and what to look for. I haven't done any full bug bounties yet, so I'm still getting started. Entry level to intermediate, yeah, probably. Rakesh Roshan, can be able to hack HTTPS website. Yeah, you can hack HTTPS websites. Just because they've got a certificate doesn't mean they're safe. Akram Karani, did you ever think about running your own business in cybersec field? Yeah, I have been. So I was doing all of my contracting through my own business, and I've recently stopped doing contracting for the next 6 months-ish, where I'm going to be focusing on getting my own customers here in Australia, and then potentially it goes here first. I've got a couple of nice little contracts through that company at the moment where they're just like managed service contracts. So I'm just looking after their security stuff, not doing any systems or heavy networking projects for them. I'm just focusing on protecting their environment. So yeah, I've been running a company for like 2 years now. Actually, it's longer. It's like 5 years now. It's been a while. Where was I? Rakesh again. I was started to learn cybersecurity in YouTube. It is good. Yeah, it is good. There's heaps of good resources out there. Jason Ibarra, I have masters in cybersecurity. Do I need certifications? Not necessarily. You'll probably get an entry-level position, depending where you are. But yeah, if you have the certs, or if you get a job at a service provider, again, how do I become a penetration tester / bug bounty hunter? I'll answer that in my bug bounty series. Subam, what's your thought about Cybrary courses? I love Cybrary. Cybrary is great, and they outline the courses really well with what certifications you need to do to get to the end of that course. And I'm actually in the process of signing up as a mentor on Cybrary. So yeah, look out for that, I guess. But yeah, their courses are good. I've been vouching from them since the beginning of my channel. They're great to get into. Manny Sal, good evening. Sup, dude? Eddie, how can you tell if your computer is being mirrored or monitored? If you really want to deep dive into it, throw Wireshark on there and see exactly what traffic is coming up and down, and have a look at the packets that are being transferred. You'll probably need to learn how to use Wireshark if you don't already know, because it's just going to spit out heaps and heaps of information on those logs. So have a look at that, and yeah, you'll know exactly what's happening on your computer. Also run like malware scans, like Malwarebytes and some virus programs. Where are we? Manny, again, I'm learning Python full stack. Nice. Next, DevOps and after CSSIP certification. How do you feel about my cybersecurity path? Took me a while. Yeah, it's a pretty good path, man. I guess you're going into what looks like a mid-level position, or you want to do your own sort of pen testing roles, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's a good place to start. Madan again is asking from where to start CS. Do you mean computer science? Learn it at a university. Jason Ibarra, which is better in your opinion, contract work or standard 9-to-5 job in cybersecurity, or corporate work versus being your own boss? Being your own boss is pretty hard because you have to get your own clients. You have to go to all of the meetings, manage your own finances, which can be difficult. And if you don't have any experience and you want to go straight into being your own boss, it's very hard to sell yourself because you don't have anything to back yourself up with. If you have experience, I would recommend getting a 9-to-5 job off the bat, because it's similar with contracting. They want to look at what you can bring to them and how fast you can get going. They don't want someone that's costing like $1,000 or $900 a day to come in and have to learn how to do stuff. They want someone who they can call up and they say, hey, we've got this project. Some guy's called sick, or we need an extra hand on this project. Can you come on in? What's your experience? And certifications are, what your experience is, and if you're likely to be able to jump straight in within a few days. They don't want someone there for a week learning, or even a few days is maybe sometimes too much. So definitely get a 9-to-5 job. Moving down, Kyle Reese, have found plenty of bug bounty resources. Do you have any good places to start looking at malware? Maybe a personal site. Do you mean like resources for malware? Or I'd have a look at Stock. I interviewed him just the other week on YouTube. Have a look at his videos, as well as NameSec. Those guys are pretty good on bug bounties and malware analysis. So yeah, have a look at those. Madan is asking if I have a self-study of cybersecurity. I don't know where to start. Give me some course on cybersec guidance, and I'll help you get a full list of where to do it, how much it's going to cost, and all of that information. Ankit Gupta, is that possible Android payload co-ed into image file? I already said I'm not going to answer your question, so I'm not going to answer your question. Let's go back to Discord. And I'll answer some questions here. Where were we? Question from Beats. He says, based on your experience, do you think that ageism is particularly bad in this industry, on par with the general struggles of being an older person seeking work? I just sort of answered that before, and I don't believe there is much, if any, ageism at the end stuff, maybe, but only because a lot of places want to mold that person to do their practices themselves. But if you don't have any previous experience, it doesn't really matter. So if, for example, if someone's got like 4 years experience in cybersecurity and they want to go back to like an entry level position or something entirely different, they're going to look at that person as someone who already knows what they're doing, but they've already got their way of doing things ready. So if you're new into the industry, it doesn't matter how old you are. Clever online handle. Actually, I'm going to skip that question because it's silly. Moving down. That's all the questions. Oh, wait, no. Ellie has asked, thoughts on studying at work. I did it quite a bit, to be honest. And I even told my boss at the time, I said, I want to complete some study for this. Can I take an extra hour on a lunch break? And they were perfectly happy for me to do that if I was able to present that course to their, like if I was able to pass. So yeah, if you have the opportunity to do some study while you're at work, definitely hit it up. Definitely give it a look and do it. It's just going to save you a lot of time when you go home, when you can actually chill out. One Quinones. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your names wrong, just by the way. Which was your first job in cybersecurity? I guess it was as a network security engineer, sort of cybersecurity, but it was more infrastructure. So at that job, security, firewall rules, I did a full firewall migration, actually. So they were moving from Juniper devices, some really old ones, to some newer Checkpoint devices, a full stack. So that company paid for me to do a Checkpoint certification, so that their board of directors wouldn't get shitty if something stuffed up. They would say, oh, at least he's a professional Checkpoint person. So yeah, that was pretty much my first step into cybersecurity, and I really enjoyed it so much that I stuck with it for longer than any other job I've had. Where are we? Recommendations for best cybersecurity AWS virtual labs. There are some on Hack the Box, TryHackMe, and VulnHub. There's some pretty cool ones on there. Check those out there. But if you sign up with the link in the description of this video, you get some freebie rooms, and I think there is an AWS room included in there. If not, you might have to pay for the Path course on there. So yeah, that's all the questions. We actually got through it in under an hour, which is awesome. If you have any more questions, quickly ask them, and I'll get to them. But otherwise, that's pretty much it from me. I've got a few more videos coming out. I've got some CTFs. There's a Stego audio spectrogram CTF coming up, which I saw the other day on TryHackMe. It looks pretty cool, so I want to give that a try. And a few interviews. I've got one coming up real soon with a IT recruiter, and I'm going to be asking him a whole bunch what employers are looking for as far as degrees and certifications and experience go, as well as saturation in the industry and all sort of questions about that. Yep, my Twitter account is current, I think. Just search DC Cybersec on Twitter and that will find me. Manny, quickest path to cybersecurity role besides help desk. Bug bounties. You can start straight away. You can start today if you want. Apart from that, doing some basic web app pen testing through Fiverr is probably the alternative. It's still sort of bug bounty. I'd call that bug bounty, but yeah. Rakesh, here we go. More questions. Without cyber certificate, can we get job in cybersecurity with our own knowledge? No. Unless you're working for yourself, but still then probably not. Is a YubiKey my best bet to secure email? YubiKey is pretty cool. I use Password One. It's a paid version. I can't remember how much it was. I think it was like $20 or something. But it's pretty good. Comes with a master key that you have to write down. You can't sort of save it or do anything with it. So yeah, I like that one. I use that for pretty much everything. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's all the questions I've got time for now. What time is it? It's 12:30. I'm going to grab some lunch. Thanks for jumping on this video. It's been great to have you all on here, and stay tuned for more videos. As always, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you are enjoying this content, and maybe some of my other videos. Have a look at those as well. And yeah, throw a comment down below if you have any questions, or go to cybersecguidance.com and I'll answer them on the next Last Week You Asked Me video. I'll catch you later, guys. Thanks.